out. Look at you, all nice and passed out. Oh, stretch it out, you little dorkwad. Yes. Oh, what a sweet little stupid cat. Okay. Is it coming? Is it happening? There it goes. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Here's a Problem. Well, the Fed cut rates by 0.25 basis points today. Absolutely monumentally stupid. Like, as dumb as it gets if you are an economist. Basically, the economists at almost every university in the world just went, yeah. So welcome to stagflation territory. We are going to stagflate. Most of my viewers are not old enough to know what stagflation is like, but the malaise of the 1970s was due to stagflation. And if you have any recollection of the 1980s, you know the interest rates were insane because that was the only way we could shore up the dollar, stop the inflation. And it hurt. It hurt a lot. If you need like any reference as to how insane interest rates were, go watch the classic Brewster's Millions. The overall plot of Brewster's Millions is Richard Pryor's character will inherit a whole bunch of money if he agrees to spend $1 million a day for 30 days without accruing anything. Which back in the days, a lot of money, right? He's got to just frivolously spend it on stuff. And when he gets the pile of cash to store, right? He's at a bank. And the bank offers him 25% interest if he keeps the money at the bank. And he's like, cannot, because that would be like earning, and he can't earn anything. So that's what the 80s was like, because you wanted to buy a home, 20-something% interest for the mortgage, and that was the result of stagflation. And we are going to stagflate ourselves. So within a moment of the Fed announcement, the dollar collapsed, the SPY collapsed like really far, like huge amounts, appreciable percentages. And then for some reason just went, whoa, right back up again. Cutting rates into a bubble is insane. Absolutely insane. Maybe Powell and the Fed is like, you know what? We'll just give you what you want. Fuck it. We will let this economy absolutely deteriorate into something that's unsalvageable, and then you can be in charge of that because I'm out. Maybe that's what he's saying. Man. Rough. Anywho, speaking of crashes, Kash Patel, absolutely went spiraling during his Senate hearing today. He's under pressure. There's calls from MAGA now to fire Kash Patel as the head of the FBI and put in someone even dumber. And Kash did not handle any of his questions very well. He was asked about Dylan Roof, who shot up a whole bunch of people at a church in South Carolina, a famous neo-Nazi, and he was like, who? Then they asked about the shooter in Butler, Pennsylvania, who was killed by Secret Service, who tried to assassinate Trump, and he's like, we're not going to discuss that till the trial's over. The dude's dead. There is no trial. He was asked if he'd ever talked to Donald Trump about Trump's name being the Epstein files. He's like, I talked to Trump about it. And so Adam Schiff asked Patel if he ever talked to Pam Bondi about it, and then he just lost his mind and went on this yelling spree and completely unrelated to anything and personal insults, and it was kind of phenomenal. I don't think Kash Patel is long for this administration. He's going to be a casualty of trying to clean up the mess that he's made. GameStop was going puny pop and then had a kind of a settling day today. refresh. Yeah, it was down. It was down 24 cents today, but up a little bit after hours. Kind of today. Yeah. Oh, anything else in the news? We're probably gonna go blow up Venezuela. Trump's in the UK and he's getting trolled hard. I don't know. You guys will bring it up in chat. We'll discuss it then. Until then, how about we hit a button? How about we hit that button? 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Houston, we have a problem. Okay, hit the button, turn it off. There we go. No super chats hit first. Okay, scroll to the top. Bill Cohen, GME, twiddling my thumbs. Yes. Twiddle, 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 twiddle. CC, S2A, for Ib, second. Lisa saw. Did you buy the pet treats? No. Pet treats were sent to me by Michael Mystery. We have so many. You can see this big bag right there. Then there's a big bag right there. Then there's a little bag right there. Then there's 2 more big bags up there. Monkey has treats essentially forever. She may not last as long as these 5 bags of treats will. That's how much treats are up there right now. That's insane. So, thank you, Michael Mystery. And thank you. I got to bring all these puzzles to my mom's house tonight. She is going to be like, oh. Yeah, so, yay. I like crypto. Last again. Only for a moment. Lone Wolf here. GDC. I think RC finally beat us today. He dragged his feet long enough for rate cut, more inflation, more GME, shareholders having to sell. Yeah. The price of everything is going to go nuts. Basically, the goal during the Biden administration was in under a year, or about a year, get inflation from high down to around 2%. I think we gotten it down to 2.3% in a year and a half by the end of 2024, and but then you're like, oh, things are getting smooth. Inflation is dying. Inflation is now skyrocketing at rates faster than it did when we had massive inflation in 2022, and we just gave more excuse to inflate prices with this stupid rate cut. So your life just got more expensive. Article came out today that Julio sent me, pointing out that 48% of all consumer spending right now is from the top 10% of earners, people who make $250,000 a year or more. So 48% of all consumer spending. You have to remember, consumer spending, everyone needs toilet paper, everyone needs toothpaste, everyone needs boxes of cereal and whatnot. So what's happened essentially is the needs, like the fundamentals. I need some food. I need a place to sleep. I need some toothpaste. I need to be able to wipe my butt. Like, those things are what the bottom 90% are spending their money on. And the discretionary income purchases, the travel, the investment, the games, the entertainment, the restaurants, etc., are being enjoyed by the top 10% and the top 10% only. This is why Las Vegas is emptying out. Tourists don't want to be there from international nations, and Americans can't afford it. So they're going for local alternatives or not doing anything at all. So does not bode well at all. It's showing how hollow this shell is that we're living in. And yeah, so brother, Hot Dog Rebel playing devil's advocate here. What happens if nothing comes of BBBY and we lost 100% of our investments and RC loses our trust? Is there any recourse, or we effed while RC stays wealthy and worshipped? RC won't ever be poor. He's got like 1.7 billion in just Apple stock. He's gonna be a billionaire regardless of what happens to him ever. But yeah, he there's a chance he could lose out on becoming the Warren Buffett type. The one who sort of coalesces an army of investors, of loyal investors behind him. It's don't just make your investors rich. Walk your talk. Talk about shareholder value. Make sure the shareholders have value, right? If you got nothing to do at all with DK Butterfly, there's nothing stopping you from saying I have nothing at all to do with it. He reads all the message boards. He reads all the tweets. He's very online. He knows what's going on. He knows what people have been saying and predicting all this stuff. And if he's just sitting there going, idiots, right? Then there's a whole host of folks who are rabid investors who will write him off. So, but he'll still be rich. He just won't be the legend that he, I think, wants to be. Warren Buffett's a legend. Ryan Cohen has the potential to become a legend. Right now, he's just talked about as a potential legend. So do what it needs to become a legend, man. Do the wild and crazy thing that business schools will write about in years to come. Lisa saw I'm British, having rolled out the red carpet for Trump. What tasty trade travel benefits should I be looking forward to? I don't necessarily know what you mean. Like, because you're British, you will get to, because the UK welcomed him so well, you should get nice things when you come to America. You won't get nice things when you come to America. It'll just be ICE detention and then sent back. Trump only plays one way. You be nice to me and it doesn't matter what I do to you. The best. Probably cheap travel to the Caribbean. Well, there's that. A Hot Dog Rebel. At what point do we say, fuck you, RC? He has strung us along for long enough. We continue to get the shaft, and he continues to get wealthy. You are bright. How much longer you give RC? The Warrants have a potential move to do some wild and crazy things. Because we just talked DK Butterfly, let's play ourselves in the hypothetical game about potentiality, because we like to discuss all the absolutely diabolical things Ryan Cohen could do and never seems to actually do. Let's discuss diabolicity, the diabolitude of what could happen. Okay, so there's 59 million or so warrants that'll be sent out, right? Because the bondholders are getting them and the shareholders are getting them. Bondholders are getting 3.5-ish, not quite, for every $1,000 in bonds they hold. The shareholders are getting one for every 10 shares they hold. Let's say before the date of record, right? A whole bunch of GameStop shares go out to all those Bed Bath & Beyond holders. And let's say that the float, that RC is behind Hudson Bay, and they bought all those shares, and they just sort of deleted them from existence. The float is really small, right? And so when it comes time to deliver GameStop shares to all the Bed Bath holders, there's like 70 or 90 million shares that are going out. So really, really small amount. And each one of those folks, if they go out before the 3rd, would get the opportunity to have warrants. So if there's 90 million, there'd be 9 million more warrants. So we'd be at 68 million warrants total, right? But Bed Bath was shorted to the tune of probably billions of shares. So GameStop might be shorted about 500 million shares right now, maybe a billion shares, somewhere around there. So there's going to be 50 million to 100 million warrants that suddenly have to be found. That's a lot. But if Bed Bath is shorted to the tune of like 5 billion shares, they're going to have to go out and find 500 million warrants to make good on that. And that is going to be really, really, really hard to do. So, seems like it'd be pretty diabolical to announce a payout before the 3rd. You know, you on the 30th of September, you announce a payout. It's going to happen on the 2nd of October. And then the 3rd, boom. That's the date of record for all those shareholders to get warrants. That would be diabolical. That would be something that no fund anywhere could calculate into their equations, and it would throw them all for a loop. So Ryan, do that. Do something like that. Be diabolical. Go that extra yard, man. Game of inches. You want to just run down field, baby. There's so many football metaphors we can do. So yeah, why not be a dick? Just be a dick back to them and not to us. Right? Like let the price action happen. Let the gamma go. Let all these warrants head on out and then get closed out immediately due to the fact that so many are owned by institutions and insiders and cajillionaires. And let's just let it run. And then I can finally buy a ski in, ski out at like Whistler or something, and yay. Hop on, girl, before you say enough is enough and start investing. Oh, you're talking about how much time we give RC. Start investing in something that actually gives investors returns. Yeah, I mean, I would like to have my big fat win so that I can take that pool of cash and just stick it in the I don't need to think about it fund, and then just live off that. That's my goal. GDC, ABC, Disney cancels Jimmy Kimmel for his Charlie Kirk comments. I don't even know what his comments were on Charlie Kirk. Off-air comments. So it wasn't even on the show. Kristen Conti made Monday about the motives of the man who's accused. They're going to show what he said. Every single one of these articles won't even. FCC chair levels threat against ABC, but he didn't say it on air. So why would the Federal Communications Commission have anything to say about that? Seems like Jimmy Kimmel might be able to sue for First Amendment violations if the FCC is what got involved. Out loud, skip ad, go away. What are the Kimmel comments? Thanks. Nexstar's owned and partnered television stations affiliated with ABC Television will preempt Jimmy Kimmel Live for Civil Future. That's it. We hit some new lows over the weekend with MAGA gang desperately trying to characterize this kid who murdered Charlie Kirk as anything other than one of them and doing everything they can to score political points from it. That's it? That's what got him fired? Jesus Christ, these fuckers are such delicate little flowers. Oh my God. And then Benny Johnson claimed that Kimmel's remarks were some of the sickest, coldest conduct possible. Benny, you got paid by the Russians to make your show. Shut the fuck up. Jesus Christ. All right. That's all I got fired was basically pointing out the administration is trying to score political points with this one. They are. It's a no-brainer. Yeah. Well, welcome to fascism, everybody. Cheers. And the fact that Ryan Cohen will never let us get paid, so we have to wallow in this fucking be put on lists and everything else. Well. Nah. Nathan Scott, born and raised in South Mississippi, and I thought my generation was heading in a more positive and accepting direction. Now they're making music videos supporting lynching, one step forward, two steps back. Yeah, that Forgiato Blow guy, he's like the pudgy kid that has the beard with the cutout and the weird tattoos right there that would have like the Donald Trump blow up doll in his Lamborghini. He made a song about lynching people that came out in a music video that came out a few days before all these people started getting lynched in Mississippi. One of the kids who was lynched apparently went to the police saying that he was a victim of targeted harassment, and the police were like, no, you're not. And he sort of went public with how the police weren't helping him at all. And the police, when they found his body, said that he committed suicide But apparently he has bruises all over his body and broken bones, and then won't let his parents identify his body at the morgue. So it seems like lynching to me. That seems like a lynching to me. So one of the dumbest timeline, one of the worst timeline. We have a lot of shitbirds. There's a lot of shitbirds who have a lot of power right now, and a lot of even worse shitbirds who see it as a green light to basically do all the horrible things they've always wanted to do. And we're gonna have a wave of some really bad stuff coming. I know it's not the happiest thing to talk about, but it's coming. That long dark cloud is coming down, man. Kikadian, largest city in Texas. Happy birthday. What's your take on sock with sandals, fashion, faux pas, or reason to end a relationship? Socks with sandals were very much a Northwest thing. Because you don't know idea what the weather's going to do. You have your socks on, it might get nice, I don't know. And it was a terrible, terrible thing. I'm okay, like, you slip on your Birkenstocks and you head out, or you're like your soccer sandals or whatever. I mean, what are you trying to do, fat boy? Are you stuck? Oh, just slithering on over. Okay. Come here. I'm gonna squeeze you. But for the most part, I associate socks with sandals with single men who travel to Thailand for sex tourism. That's, if I see socks with sandals, that's what I'm thinking. I'm not talking about like, oh, you just like, you're wearing your socks, you need to run out to the mailbox really quick, so the closest thing to do is just kind of squeeze a pair of flip-flops on there. That's different than like just going out in public and walking around with socks and sandals. To me, it screams I'm a German sex tourist, and I should actually be on a list, right? Right, buddy? Yeah. He agrees. Look at that satisfaction on his face. That butt scratch. It's just staring off. Thousand yard stare right there, huh? Mwah! Okay. Turkish. Twiddling thumbs for game and stroking chin for BBY. Where are the treats for monkey butt? Well, why you staring at them? Feed it to her. Oh, Jibbo, should I feed her some treats? Should I do that? Yeah. Should I open up this big fat one right here? Oh. Doesn't make a big crinkly noise because it's like all vacuum sealed. Let's see here, monkey. Is that? Oh. Can you already tell? Can you already tell this is like your favorite thing in the entire world? Dogs love chicken jerky. Ooh. Ah. Oh my, look at that. Yeah, you like that? Yeah. Oh, I get it. There we go. Good job. Can't do the Jaws cam anymore because the camera in this room is further away. And monkey can't get on her hind legs anymore. We'll do one more. One more. Yeah. It smells good. You always act like you want it, and then when I try to give it to you, you just stare at it and don't do anything. If it's not in your food dish, you do not care. Or if it's not just a pat of butter left on the counter. Alright, is that close? That's close. Alright, one more. I'll give you one more. There we go. Happy dog, happy life. Brennan Wells, BBY. I assume that the 16B case should be just dismissed or settled any day now. Turkish 101 Nas 101. If you watching, I hope you are meeting Rock at our secret place. Okay. Striker 747. Can a stock market crash make the MOAS a real thing? Thanks. Yes. Because blue chips and bonds and everything else are the collateral that allows these family offices and hedge funds to have the margin to make their short plays. So if the value of those collapse, then the proportion of collateral to margin increases, and that results in margin calls and eventually liquidations. So, and sell-offs of all those blue chips. So it becomes this kind of self-serving, get out of your thing. This like self-feeding cycle snowballs out of goes crazy. Oh yeah, you gonna bite that dog? You gonna bite the dog, dummy? Yeah. Okay. Yes, it can lead to MOAS. I think you need some level of crash of the blue chips in order for MOAS to truly be like balls to the wall. Kikadian, recently I have moved to spelling all forms of the word thought to THOT, since there's so many ways to spell a word that sound like that. Is this a keeper life hack, or am I just making myself look bad? The problem is that thought is an acronym for that hoe over there, which is a derogatory term for certain women. So if you keep spelling thought out like that, they might think you're referring to that hoe over there. So probably not the best. Probably not the best move. Probably not the best move. It's like my brother had 88 in his email address. I had to explain to him. I was like, why do you have 88 in there? You weren't born in 1988. He's like, because I was number 88 in high school. And I was like, you don't want that in your email address. People are going to think that you mean Heil Hitler. And he's like, what? So I hope I can make you aware of thoughts and players. Kelly Reed, happy birthday, HW. Well, Canada cuts key interest rates by 2.5%. What's your thoughts? I personally think too soon, but economy is in the gutter here. Yeah. Canada is in an interesting spot because so much of the Canadian economy is dependent upon the United States of America. And the United States of America is being such a dick that Canada's like, we're out. And so there's going to be a period of realignment with other trade partners like the EU and Mexico. And it's going to take time for that to even out and to take over parts of the market the US was supplying. It's going to be rough. But the good thing is that Canada will have all these new markets in trade routes and things that they didn't have before. And when we finally get rid of the orange clown in a couple of years and we have perhaps a competent government, that competent government can be like, wasabi, and open up our trade routes again, and Canada will just get flooded with all sorts of customers and things like that. So, yeah, but it's going to suck. It's going to suck for now. Stop it. Need your drugs, you little addict. Yeah, okay. Just continue to... You can't... Just wait for me to get it out of there, man. Okay, yeah, get it. Do your thing. Ah, gross, dude. That was the wettest sneeze a cat has ever done. Ew. Ew. Glistening. Ugh. So yeah, speaking of Canada, man who had lunch with today, she's on her way to go tour the Maritimes. So if you are in Nova Scotia or Prince Edward Island or Newfoundland or whatever, I'll give her a high five if you see her. Oh, dude, the table's it's all wet. Now you're just rolling in it. Okay, at least your butt's drying off the wet spot. Yeah. Kelly Reed, reverse repo hits the lowest 13 billion. USA cuts rates. Crash incoming. Soon buckle up. Yeah. We're down to... yesterday we're down to 16 participants at $16 billion. And now I don't know how many participants we had last night in reverse repo. My guess is that almost every bank that's allowed to participate doesn't have the cash to participate. And there's only a couple of banks who truly are untouched by auto loan defaults, housing loan defaults, and commercial real estate defaults. And so in what cash they have is probably not that good because they're probably still invested in really bad bonds and whatnot. So yeah, it's going to disappear. Kicadian, my favorite city in Texas, for obvious reasons. Is any barbecue you make just naturally better because Houston is a city in Texas? Also, was Candace Owens smashing with Kirk? She's crashing out hard. I do think that they were I think he was her gay best friend, honestly. Theater kids are weird, and they were theater kids. Stop it. Stop. You have your drug. You're sitting, your butthole's touching your drugs right now. So just eat those. Eat your butthole drugs. Stop being a weirdo. I can just shove you in here. If I just shove you inside the cabinet here, there you go. Then you crash out. Then you just fall asleep. Okay. So yeah. If if you saw the videos of them posting together, Charlie Kirk came across a theater kid. All those guys. O'Keefe was a theater kid. That weird. What was that guy's name? Guy with the big mouth, little tiny like twink guy. He's a theater kid. They're all theater kids. Bobert was a theater kid. They're all theater kid weirdos, and just they're weird. Like, you don't want to be a theater kid who doesn't make it as a theater kid in life because they end up like hosting some racist podcast. That's kind of what ends up going. Oh shoot, I missed some super chats. Shugla, your take on crash if Fed lowers rates like it did today? You know how like in old movies they say don't fire or hold your fire until you see the whites of their eyes? Do you know why that is? Like, the whites of the eyes are very small. So someone has to be pretty darn close for you to be able to see the whites of their eyes, which means if you got a musket, you have only so much ammunition, it takes a long time to load the ammunition. You want to save it until you have a sure shot, right? So you're lined up, they're charging, you're holding, and you're holding, and you're holding. You don't want to just start firing blindly because with those old musket balls, they just they go all over the place, right? And the aim is terrible. So you want to wait until you see the whites of their eyes and make that shot count because it's going to take a while for you to reload and get the second shot going. Basically, we didn't wait until we saw the whites of their eyes. We just sort of like fired willy-nilly off in lowered rates today, and that means we won't have that ammo for when we really need it, which is when the spy bubble finally pops. And it's going to pop. There's no way it can't not pop. No one wants our shit. They don't want to buy American. They don't want to buy American anything. We've got, I don't know how many millions of soybean farmers have zero customers right now. The middle America is going to be destitute without a giant socialist bailout. No one's touring here. Our offices and malls aren't worth shit. Multifamily dwellings are all defaulting like crazy. Housing prices in half the country are depreciating really quick. The dollar's worthless. We have a whole bunch of really dumb people at the top who have no idea how to crisis manage anything. It's like, what's a good analogy I could use? It's like hoping the demolition crew, like the guys with the explosives and the giant big wrecking balls, that those guys wrecking everything, when they're done, it falls into a giant, neat housing development. But, dude, you just kicked stupid thing. You're the worst. Okay. It's just we knocked this perfectly fine building down. As it falls, everything will line up and it will be a beautiful hotel. That's kind of what they're hoping for. The people involved have no ability to construct. They only know how to destroy. Oh, did you see that Scott Bessent was found to have had 2 primary residences back in 2007? Oops. Yeah, one in New York and one in Boston. Is that what he's doing? Oh, he's always doing? Yeah. So I guess Pulte may get the last laugh on that one if Trump is forced to fire Bessent. 469 Super Chats. It looks like they just pushed back the DK versus Evergreen to March 2026. Is this our nail in the coffin? My guess is it's because there's probably negotiations ongoing. There's been settlements with pretty much all the other major shippers. So the last one is got to be with Evergreen. And the precedent is, I think, that the Evergreens should just settle and let their insurers pay for it all. And we go from there. Yeah. Okay. Oh yeah, and I forgot Kid Katie asked, is barbecue you make just naturally better because Houston is a city in Texas? I have smoked meats, but I do not have a meat smoker. I'm a straight male, so it like fascinates me. I would love to like participate and go get tenderloins and just cook them all the time. I think as long as you know how to temp your food you make good food. Simple as that. You know, if you want really, really tender, it's not a particularly tender kind of meat, low and slow. If it is tender and you want it to keep tasting good, you don't cook that steak internal past 130 and you just take it medium rare and it's good to go. So I think that's the key. You can season it however you like. Let the flavor and the texture be your guide. Right, buddy? Right, look at that nurple right there. It's a big old flirpy nurple. Okay. Murph and Turf Studios, I watched Sneakers last night for the first time. Pretty good. If not overly hokey, but that's the early 90s for you. Yeah. Yeah, that's my mother's calling. I'm just going to say... Doing my show. There we go. All right. Kid Sneakers is peak 90s hacker movie. Yeah, I liked it as a film. Justified farting. Getting a lot of pushback in my community about my take on the flag at half-mast here. Sneakers, the Horse Whisperer, and Brubaker are my 3 favorites. We are getting hit hard in the trucking world. Multiple trucking companies have gone under at this point, and more to come. Here's the problem: is the trucking companies will go under because they're just not moving freight. Stuff is not leaving the U.S. and stuff is not coming into the U.S. So freight is way down. All these trucking companies are going to go under, right? And remember, part of the thing that's supposed to save Tesla is trucks, and if the trucking go under, that means trucks are going to be super cheap. If trucks are super cheap on the market, then they're not going to go buy brand new electric trucks, so they get a whole bunch of well-maintained used trucks from all these bankruptcies. And if and when the market does pick up and the economy does pick up, then what you're going to have is not enough trucks. And so then shipping prices are going to be insane, leading to even more inflation. That was one of the problems in 2022, was that freight was freakishly expensive after being super cheap during 2020 because stuff wasn't moving. So if you needed to get a container halfway around the world, cost you like $800. And all of a sudden 2022 is going to cost you like $10,000 to move that same container because people were going out of business and there was less folks available to move all that freight. That will be the same outcome with the trucking businesses. Cat, I'm going to destroy you. Stop being a jerkwad. Come over here and lay down. Right there. Right there. Come right here. No, not my lap. Not my lap. Right here. Go right there and lay down. That's your drug-induced coma right there. Oh shoot! You know what I forgot to do? I forgot to put on the stupid all chat and do the multi-stream. Dang it! So if you're ever on Twitch, I forgot about you. I didn't mean to forget about you, but I did. What's recipe? What will you be doing after the October 3 warrants? I think I'm going to take whatever cash I have and buy up warrants. And just buy them up and see what happens. I was talking about this the other day. I know Sal tweeted last night about he's going to take $20,000 or so and just buy up warrants. I don't have that. I only have a couple grand. But I'm still going to probably, buy up a couple hundred of them if I can. Maybe, I don't know, 600-700 of them if I can. If the stock price goes absolutely bonkers, that could result in another like 500 shares in the end, because then sell off some to pay for the rest. So yeah, that's what I'm thinking. So I'm just gonna buy warrants. If we can put a squeeze on the warrants, we can put a squeeze on the stock price, and it's a lot cheaper way of doing it, I think, to get more access to that stuff. Lexington Productions, Houston. What type of crimey type shenanigans or loopholes can shorts use to survive the warrant situation? How can they fraud their way out of this now? They'll do what they always do, which is the brokers will put warrants in people's accounts that don't exist. And the first few might go through to the company and then exercise. The company sends back. What will end up happening eventually is the company will say, hey, we exercised all of our warrants. We're done. And there'll be a whole bunch of people who still have warrants in their accounts. And they'll be like, what? But how am I supposed to exercise this? The brokers can go, oh, no. And so when you exercise, the brokers have to go on the market and buy that share and put it in your account. I think that's what's going to happen. And it's going to hurt the brokers a lot to have to do it that way. So they better not, but I think they will because they're not that bright. We'll just naked everything. And what happens, the stock price will be like $100 a share. There'll be a naked warrant in someone's account. They'll exercise at $32. The brokers have to go out and have a $68 loss on that sucker. And, oops. For millions and millions and millions of those warrants. I think that's basically what the plan is. They didn't really think much past that part. Justified, thank you for everything you do. Sorry to see Cherry Tuesday gone. Is still a great idea. I still write YouTube folks every once in a while and be like, hey, anything new happening here? And they're like, no. If you happen to work at YouTube, we know somebody works at YouTube, can you please just find the string of code that limits, the number of charity shows to 50? Just add a 0, right? That give me another 40 years out of doing Charity Tuesdays. Just add a 0 on that. We're good. So that's all it takes. There's one string of code that says limit 50. And all I have to do is just put a 0 at the end of it. No one's going to get to 500 charity shows. If I'm doing charity shows 40-something years from now, just, yeah. Polestar's here. Kikadium. Oh, shoot, Kikadium. You just reset and I'd lost you. One sec. I got to scroll back up. Kid and I blame Stagflation for bad 70s music and bad haircuts. And everything just being brown. It was a lot of brown going on. Everything in the home was like brown or like some form of like putrid baby puke green. And got the runs yellow. What was it about the 70s and making everything brown? Like, who was in charge of the what's the name of the Pantone color of the year back then? The current person who's in charge of Pantone colors actually lives in my community, and I don't think she's done a very bad job. But whoever was in charge of it back in the 70s, holy crap, you are a monster. The basement condo my mom lives in now was built in 1974, and we moved in 1992, so it was only 18 years old when we moved in. And we moved in and it was this disgusting time capsule. Like, the toilet was olive green, the floors were baby poop yellow, the sink was like this brown color, then the countertops were this like cream formica with like gold flecks in it. The kitchen, like the cabinets were just like turd colored, the floor was turd colored. The refrigerator was turd colored. Like, someone was like with like massive fecal fetish design everything in the 1970s. Like, what was going on? And why were they able to escape the turd colors when it came to futuristic 70s television? Because there's like gleaming white and shiny blacks, and you didn't see the turd colors and all that stuff. So even in like 1977, they're like, this is gross. In the future, things will be much brighter. No one in the 1950s predicted the future would be full of turd. Yeah. Fred Jones used to admit I was in charge in the 70s. I was on some serious drugs back then. It's your fault. Yes. Everything shall be scheisse. Yeah. Archie Bunker's home was being described. Just brown. Brown. Cars were brown. The interior cars were brown. Everything was brown. Your pants were brown. Your shirt was brown. Your house was brown. Your bed was brown. Brown. Bex Houston, happy birthday. Canada also cut rates by 25 basis points. Do you still think BPY payouts will come before Jimmy dividend? I hope. I don't think anything. I can think of all the dastardly plans that could happen to make things awesome, and then we just blow right past that plan, and then we're on to the next, I don't know what. But it would be really, really, really awesome if they were to do that. So why not do it? And go down as a legend, man. Go down as a legend. You can have yourself an entire chapter in a finance course textbook. Be that legend. Be someone people talk about 200 years from now when they compare weird things in the markets like the daffodil bubble and the Reading Railroad squeeze and Volkswagen, and they just be something part of that. Just do it, Ryan. Just do it already. Just be that monster. Embrace the monster. You gotta be a monster to fight the monster, so embrace that monster. Justified farting, selling the stamp was awesome. Selling the stamp. Huh? Ciao from Torino, says Scott Paulin. Oh, in Italy again. All right, have fun. Justified farting starting mailing? I don't know what's going on. Scott Paulin. Venezia is cool too. Well, enjoying 2 years in a row, enjoying the Italy. Joseph, can you tell me why the sand in Bali is dark, like black, and shines? I've never seen a sand like it in my life. Probably because it's basalt sand, be my guess. Black sand usually comes from basalt. Poly, black sand, basalt. Yeah, it's basalt. Black sand beaches. So it's broken up lava rock. So oceanic lava rock is black because it's not a very high silica content and a really high iron content. And it breaks down into black sand. So there's like black sand beaches all over Hawaii because it's volcanic, and Bali's volcanic as well. And most of the volcanic eruptions from Bali result in basalt. So, yeah, that's why. Also, the sand is hot as shit. Like, you can do a black sand beach on the Big Island in Hilo because it's cloudy. But the minute the sun comes out, you do not want to touch that sand. It will cook you. It warms up so quick. It is brutal. So you want to wear like shoes if you're going to cross that sand. And there's like black sand beaches all over the world. I've been to a black sand beach in Costa Rica that was basically the cabin to the forest. You had to sprint because the howler monkeys were trying to throw shit at you. And then you got to the forest line as the howler monkeys are approaching. You have to like psych yourself up with your surfboard and sprint the last, I don't know, eighth of a mile across this cooking hot black sand and get into the ocean and go surfing. And then at the end of the day, you had to prep yourself like, okay, you got to do the sprint back across this black sand and then get into the forest and get back to the cabin before the howler monkeys cover me in shit. And that was kind of the adventure. So, that. 12 stars. So Jimmy Kimmel cancellation thoughts. Corporal fascism is what we're seeing. 100%. Future Sunday. Happy birthday, Houston. My spy puts went from 80 cents to $4.30 and back to 80 cents. I did not see it because I'm at the office. Oh, isn't that the worst? Isn't that the worst? Oh, you're like, oh, I'm up. I'm making a fortune. And then you take a phone call from your dog's vet and you're cool and you hang up and then you discover all your money's gone. That's what happened. Back in March, I was up $25,000 on spy puts. Took a call from Monkey's vet, and when I hung up, gone. Well, who is blowing up my phone right now? Who is blowing up my phone? Oh, Iggy's just making fun of Portland people who do socks with sandals. Portland people aren't real human beings, so there's no need to consider them humans. But Portland viewers are like, hey, I resemble that remark. Oh, Spencer, bot calls on the load today for once. Got to keep this going. Nice job, Spencer. And Justified Farting, can't believe Seattle is in first. Shake my head, 10 days left. The Mariners have been insane. The last 10 games, absolutely bonkers. I am not one to believe in witchcraft, but that Etsy witch seems to have done whatever it is she needs to do, and the Mariners are absolute like juggernaut. Dominic Canzone, rookie, still finding his way around. 5 for 5 and 3 home runs last night. And then our resident possible MVP, Big Dumper, 2 more home runs. He's at 56. So he just tied the Mariners record. He set the record for switch hitters. He's like continue to set the record for switch hitters. And the next home run will be the most home runs any Mariners ever had. And he has the opportunity over the next 2 weeks to become the only not Yankee in the American League to hit 60 home runs. So, do it. Got 6 more to tie the American League record, and probably get what is probably the true tie for the true leadership of home runs that without using steroids. So yeah, get it, Cal. Get it, Mariners. I'm going to be very excited to actually watch Mariners playoff baseball with a pennant. So don't crash on me. Don't lose like 13 games in a row to end the season, please. All right, Julius Mammy says lettuce time for Patel. Yeah, who's going to last longer, a head of lettuce at room temperature or Kash Patel? My guess is that Kash is done for. I'm actually surprised there hasn't been as much turnover in this current government, but I think the problem is that the last time around there were somewhat competent bureaucrats in roles, and they were like, I will not participate in this, and they leave. Whereas the folks now in these roles have such dysfunctional personality disorders that they possess no shame. And there's no way they recognize the fact that they're the problem. So, yeah. Spencer. Sorry, that one. See, we got new with Nub trip intro. Here we come. Nope, my intros are all off. Have I even changed screens yet? I have not. Justified Farting, Tillamook, and Trader Joe's ice cream are the best. Did I tell you my Tillamook story? So if you go down the Oregon coast, I highly recommend you take a tour of the Tillamook Cheese Factory. It's cool. It's a cool thing to see. So they're making these big giant cheeses and yogurts and ice creams and stuff like that. When I was going into my freshman year of high school, I did a bicycle trip with this like church group, and we went down the Oregon coast. And that trip was Christian girls are dirty. Let's just put it that way. That was an enlightening trip for hormoned out 14-year-old at the time. Absolutely just bring. So we do a tour of the Tillamook Cheese Factory, and the girl gives us a tour. I will not say her name. Was at one time the Dairy Queen, meaning she won the like Tillamook cheese contest, beauty contest. She was very pretty, and she was a couple years older than me, and we hit it off on that tour. I was a flirting machine. Things went well, and she's like, "Oh, where are you guys staying?" I'm like, "Oh, we're camping in the state campground just down the ways, and we'll be there tonight." And then we head out in the morning, and she's like, "Oh, interesting, cool." So anyway, we get back to this camp. It's me and like 30 other middle school, high school kids, and the Dairy Queen shows up. She's like, "Psst, hey." Whoa, what are you doing here? She's like, well, you said later we were camping. I figured this was your group and whatever. And so she sneaks me off. And we have a wonderful time. And I was very tired and very sleepy the next day. And did not have much energy to bicycle like the 50 miles supposed to do. But yeah, that's why I recommend everyone does the Dairy Queen. Or the everyone does the Dairy Queen. Everyone takes the Tillamook Cheese Factory tour. Okay. Where am I? Polestar, any criticism of Kirk is being reviewed by the FCC for shows. Yeah. Just absolute First Amendment violations all the way, but the Supreme Court will not uphold that because they're in the pocket of big fascism. So, yay, America. Get us out of here. So many pet treats, says Peter Brand. Yes. Polestar, Trump yelling at reporters, asking them, I'm going to go to your boss. This is what we've become. The norms are gone. Everything's done. MS says, hi, H. Cash seems like he was auditioning for The Apprentice. Mm-hmm. Pulsar, so many pro-Israel people are all coming out saying Kirk was the biggest supporter and all their best friend, when in reality people are saying he was about to come out not pro-Israel. He had said something, I guess he was on an interview with Ben Shapiro, where he was afraid that Israel was going to snuff him out. Mossad, they just do what they want to do. They do not care about consequences, ramifications. They just do what they want to do. So if they want to take you out, they will. That's it. So yeah. Or a reminder, it's been a while. Thoughts on M2P next bridge hydrocarbons? I have no idea what's going on in the background. I know that NextBridge is actively pursuing exploration of the leases they do have and the land they do own. I don't know what's happening in the background with grievances regarding the Oro Grande University lands that seem to be taken from the company somewhat illegally. If I were McCabe in NextBridge, I would just be filing a giant lawsuit against university lands and forcing them into some sort of settlement to just give the lease back. That's it. Just settle for getting the lease back for those 140,000 acres and call it a day. Because my guess is that whoever comes out in discovery will show racketeering. That they're pressured by some outsider to force them to drop the lease. And I wish that McCabe and company would pursue those legal avenues with a little more vigor than what they have done. So I honestly don't know what's going to come of any of it. I don't think without those 140,000 acres, the company's worth much, because that was 3.5 billion barrels of oil. And it took so long to do anything with that land, with either sell it to one of the big companies back in 2022, when oil prices were like $120 a barrel, and huge contracts are going out to buy up similar known reserves. And now oil prices are crashing and wells are being capped. This is a really bad time to be invested in oil. This is why I wanted to get it done back then and not be stuck with it now. So we may have to wait until after a crash and oil prices go back up for it to be worth anything to us, which sucks. But that's why you just go now, Ryan Cohen. Just do it now. Get people their money now. Because if you wait too long, wah, 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 right? Strike while iron's hot. Polestar, China's social credit coming to the USA soon. Trademark. Where to wonder. Hello, chat. Fred Jones, Houston. Why do you think RC wants to be a legend? I think he wants to be a legend because he compares himself to Warren Buffett and Carl Icahn, who are legends. That Ryan Cohen buys all the stocks. I think he likes the cult of personality that's behind him, and I think he likes reveling in it. And I think that's, I think at heart he's an internet troll, and an internet troll needs that audience. And if he pisses off the audience, then in the end he was not a good shit poster. Shit posters get people to go, oh, like and subscribe, right? And I think he wants to build an investment portfolio along the lines of those legends like Warren Buffett and Carl Icahn. And he needs a loyal army of investors behind him in order to do that, because we're the ones who actually provide the price action of the stocks with FOMO and everything else. So he needs us big time. Fred Jones says RC doesn't want to be a legend the way you want him to be. He just called me and told me to tell you, slow and steady wins the race. Just like Chewy, he will slowly raise the price because it show the world that he's a real businessman. Icahn didn't do that. ICANN would go for the jugular and rip it out just to watch it just bleed, and then let the shock and horror of it affect the markets, and he'd make money one way or the other. Decisive, brutal, absolutely. He wouldn't play the slow game with his companies. He would just get it done. He would clear out the board. He would turn it around, sell it, get it done. I'm not seeing that. I see the turnaround happening, but not the get it done. I don't want slow burn. Slow burn's stupid. Berkshire Hathaway went from a bankrupt company to worth 10 times as much as when Warren Buffett got in within 5 years. And where are we 5 years later? The stock price is lower. So, I don't want boomer, slow and steady. I want explosion, because slow and steady means by the time I get to enjoy any of it, I'm already dead in an oven. That's what it means. So slow and steady doesn't help anybody in an economy like this, in an authoritarian government like this. You are going to just doom people to camps if you don't give them the cash they need to reinvest and save themselves. And if people end up in the camps, then you have less customer base, right? Like, oh, I waited so long and all my customers are dead because they got sent to the camps. And now no one's buying video games or PSA cards. Well, the country's at civil war. The PSA card market's really low because no one wants to buy a whole bunch of collectible cards while they're fighting for their lives. Just zip zop, baby. Get to it. Get to it. Jesus Christ. All right. Burks with woolen socks. Pretty much. Fred Jones, Houston, I never wore socks with sandals while in Thailand for some fine Thailand girl. Yeah. If you're wearing socks with sandals, they know that you're paying for it. That's what it comes down to. Dijon Mustard caught up with Chet. The horse whisperer is often forgotten. I think it started the whole animal whisperer concept. Yeah, probably. J-Dog says, go Mariners. Go Mariners. Dijon, Burks with socks, always a camping thing. Easy to rush out of the tent to pee with cold feet. Yeah, I'm okay with I gotta take the trash down the end of the driveway. You got your socks and your sandals. Cool. I'm okay with it's post-soccer game. I took off my cleats. I put on my slip-ons, and I'm going back to the car. It's the, I'm going to have a day out with friends and family. I'm going to put on my finest Tevas and my socks, and we're going to make a day of it. No. Don't. Just, no. No. Just put on a pair of flip-flops without the socks. Go out there. If you're like me and you have one gnarly toenail, because I dropped a ski boot on it 10 years ago and scarred the cuticle, just get some nail polish. I painted blue. Bought a blue bottle nail polish in 2014, and I still got a bunch left because I paint just one toenail blue. Then people say, oh, he's got a blue toenail, rather than like, whoa, what the fuck is up with that toenail? I dropped a ski boot on it, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. Do that. Drum Beats by Sparkle. America has screwed itself in trade. Trump just made everyone buddy up with him without U.S. military. USM? Trump just made everybody buddy up without U.S. military. Yeah. Portugal just bought a whole bunch of French jets rather than buying F-35s. Canada's rethinking like an $88 billion deal with Lockheed and thinking about either building their own or buying European jets instead. If I were one of these gigantic, super powerful military contractors, I'd be like, maybe we shouldn't have supported him. GTL Mustard, Canada will be fine. We were one of the few countries that didn't feel the global financial crisis of 2008. I mean, Canada just goes back to what they do, which is mine a bunch of shit and cut some trees down. And that's how you survive. You go back to the basics. You forget all the weird financial instruments and you just provide material goods to folks. So that's it. Okay, I gotta get going because I'm supposed to take all of these to my mom's house so that she can put together puzzles. Kitty Cat, thank you for being an absolute terrorist. And there's a little nurple. So you guys have a great night. I will see you tomorrow. And shit will probably continue to be weird. So, okay. Let's do classic. Bing.